3,
2,
1.
Monkey bars.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Thick and Butter podcast. I don't know what episode this is.
91 on the road to 100.
Is it 91?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm like 7. No, I'm 100% certain. I checked.
Nice. Yeah. We have like, I think we have 2 in the can. So
Yeah, we have a lot in the can.
this.
Wait, we did. Wait. We didn't finish the intro.
Oh,
we can't
yeah.
get into the
My
good
name is
stuff.
Alex.
My name is Jesse.
Okay, Thick.
And Butter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
sorry.
we
I'm sorry, everybody.
We have 2 in the can.
I
It's
like
crazy.
to think that there's a fan listening to that and goes like, fuck, what the fuck am I gonna do the intro, dude?
That's why I'm here. I'm here
Usually
for
unsubscribe.
I'm here for sometime the clip at the beginning, then an intro song, and then they do the intro, and then they talk about stuff.
I'm only here for the intro. Oh, this is a good podcast shit. I got a text from the same person. I got another text from Steve Gregerson.
Wait, the same one from earlier, like
No,
today,
it's
just
another,
now?
No, it's a different one that says, "Who are you?"
What? You're getting spam, dude. You're under attack.
No,
What is with all this spammy shit that's going on today?
I don't know. Hot block.
Yeah, block that shit. Is it like an email address, or is it?
Yeah, it's an email address.
Is it the same guy? You
No,
recognize it?
That's a different one. So unless,
Oh
like,
my God.
must be.
Hey, Stephen Gregory, fuck off. You're not welcome in our Noah Ark, our thick and butter Noah Ark.
Come on,
No,
dude.
Stephen Gregory.
Hopefully, I don't think. No, that wouldn't be. All right, we're doing a podcast. Anyway, what's up? Hello, we got a doozy one for you today. We got a movie that we're going to talk about that I'm excited to talk about. But before that, I think I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
The first, well, they're both movie related, but
Well, that's really convenient, actually.
yeah, right. And the first thing is I saw the new film, Minari, the new A24 movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I saw that yesterday. It was very good. I highly
Awesome.
recommend everybody check that out.
Did you see that in a theater?
I did see it in a theater, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. I've been going to the theater like a lot recently. I saw
You've been going to your
local theater, yeah.
Oh, you saw Nomadland in theater?
Yeah, I saw
That's really cool.
Theaters. Yeah, I saw Minari in theaters. I'm gonna go see Raya and the Last Dragon, the new Disney movie.
Oh, I want to see that. Even I want to see that.
Looks great.
It does.
And so, yeah, like my local theaters been playing some cool movies, and it's interesting because they're starting to they're coming out in like a really bizarre way, like because they are coming out in theaters, but they are like very kind of limited screenings. So but it's interesting that studios are kind of like Raya is a big ass movie, and what they're doing is doing the same HBO model where they're putting it out in theaters as well as even streaming on Disney Plus for like $30. HBO is free. Like HBO, they just put you can watch.
Whoa! So like on Disney Plus, you have to have the Disney Plus monthly payment and then spend $30 on top of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean,
it's $30.
Yeah. Part of me, I understand it. I mean, Raya is Disney. Disney's Disney, but Raya, I mean, is not an indie movie. It's pretty expensive to make.
Yeah.
And so they kind of, I understand wanting to pay some money to do that. And also I'm pretty sure Disney Plus is significantly like the price of Disney Plus is significantly smaller than HBO Max. Like I want to say like
HBO Max is $27 or something like that. It's
yeah,
crazy.
month, right, or something like that.
Yeah, and Disney
Like
Plus
this
is
was
only
like 6
12.
or something. Yeah, like something like really like so. I don't
It's
know. That might have
ridiculous.
to factor into it as well. You
Yeah,
know, so I don't really feel any type of way about it. But I mean, I'd rather go see it in a theater. I mean, I'm gonna spend like $30 going to the theater anyway. So
sure.
I think people are kind of like, oh, whatever. But no,
Well,
I'll
I
go to the
think
theater.
they can price it like that because it's like a kids movie, and that's
Yeah,
such a
right.
high
Yeah.
demand type of thing that they can like. I was blown away that when I went on my hunt to find Tangled, that I had to spend $30 on a movie that was like 7 years old
Yeah,
for
Disney
like a
doesn't fuck
Blu-ray of
around,
it.
man.
No, because
They don't fuck
that's the
around.
shit. We
One of my
learned
favorite
this. We
things
got
ever.
schooled about that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
one of my favorite things ever is like walking into Barnes and Noble is hilarious because like if you ever go to like their Blu-ray section, they overprice the shit out of
Yeah, it's
things.
crazy. It's
This
so
thing,
crazy.
I was in tears one time. Like this is so long ago now, but I walked into Barnes and Noble and I was at the time I was looking for Pixar movies.
Yeah.
And they were selling Toy Story, the first Toy Story, for $40, and I
Oh
was
my God.
dying. I was like, "Who would do this?" Because you could go to Target and get it for 20.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
so funny, like just thinking about someone buying Toy Story for $40.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I wonder how they're able to do that
Uh,
because eventually, I
it's like
mean,
the highest list price you could possibly do.
yeah, but to
They're
a
just being
certain
assholes.
but like I feel like that it would be hurt them because it wouldn't sell because maybe
You
they
know,
just get
right?
enough
That's what I
sales.
said. I was like, why would you? Yeah, they're either hoping banking on the fact that one sucker will buy it. You know,
I'm maybe since it's like Barnes and Nobles and they're already going through book. I feel, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. That seems just really
I'll never
strange
do
to
that.
me. It
A
seems so.
Blu-ray, any Blu-ray for $40. Get the fuck out of here.
I know, I know. Well, it's also ridiculous.
Unless it's like you know, a collection or something.
Yeah, like
One movie.
we love physical media. I love
Yeah.
physical media, but I also have the sentiment now where physical media just feels almost silly to an extent. Like I like buying CDs and records
Yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah.
but like charging me ridiculous amounts for CDs and records is just like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come
Right.
on.
Yeah.
It's almost as crazy as if we had to pay for our own health care. It's almost as insane as that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I saw Magari. Magari is great. You guys don't know what it is. I think it, I think it won the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance. I think it
That's
did.
cool.
That last year, obviously not this year, but last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it's an
Do you wait,
A24 movie,
do
huh?
you mean 2019 or
Yeah,
like
2019. Well,
yeah,
2020. So
mm,
2020 Sundance. So like
like
January of 2020. So
the
like
online thing that they did?
no. This is yeah, Magari. Not the Sundance that just happened, the 2021 Sundance.
Oh,
This was
right.
the 2020 Sundance in January of 2020,
Okay, I'm with you now.
two
I'm
months
with you.
before the pandemic. It was supposed to come out like in the summer of
Yeah.
2020, but they obviously pushed it back till now. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of A24 movies are starting to come out now, like this. They had Saint Maud, which I really fucking want to see because I heard it's great. And but they sold like exclusive rights to Epics. You know what Epics is? It's like
No.
a, you know what Cinemax is?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
familiar
it's
with
like
that.
similar to Cinemax. It's like
What?
Stars or HBO or something. And
Yeah.
they sold it to like exclusive rights to Epics, and I couldn't even rent it. Like, bro, I just want to I want to watch this movie. I don't want to fucking watch this movie.
Yeah,
So I don't know
that's
like how I'm gonna
sucks.
be able to see it. I would assume that they're gonna maybe it's just I would assume that that's just for a short period of time, and then they're
Yeah.
gonna like make it available for rent.
Yeah, I've had
Whatever.
experience. Had experience with that with a couple of movies now. I had that with the animated movies, Wolf Walkers, I think is what it's called. It's like
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be a fantastic movie, and I really want to see
Yeah,
it. But since I don't have a Disney Plus, I am completely roadblocked from
it's on Disney
getting
Plus.
any access
Yeah,
from it.
yeah,
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 and I think
yeah.
that's it. And the
Yeah.
other thing, which is hilarious, is I watched my first Fast and Furious movie, and
Yeah.
I watched
Fun.
Fast Five, which
Oh,
we can
okay.
talk about that in a
Yeah, yeah,
second.
yeah,
But
yeah.
even I wanted to watch Hobbs and Shaw, but we
Dude, yeah.
can't. A movie. It's hard. I was
Really?
like going through loopholes. I was like, okay, well, I'll get a free subscription to HBO Max, and then we'll
Yeah.
watch Hobbs and Shaw. But HBO Max doesn't have a free subscription anymore. And I was like, okay, well,
They
I'll
don't have a
get
free
a.
trial anymore?
They don't have a free trial anymore. And then I was like, okay, well, then I'll use my Hulu account to get a free trial through that. And then I realized, well, since my Hulu account is through Spotify, I can't add the HBO Max extension. Okay, well, how about I get Eva to
Yeah.
have a Hulu account and get a free trial on a Hulu account, and then add the HBO Max extension, and then we can watch Hobbs and Shaw.
I'm gonna just text me. I'll give you my HBO
Well,
Max.
we should have just done that next time.
Yeah.
What if you have to rent it for 14 bucks? You have to buy it unless you want to like. No,
Yeah.
I think it's renting for 14 bucks is crazy.
Yeah, no, like
That's insane.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the downside to this whole
Yeah.
streaming shit now. It's just
Yeah.
chaos. It's like, okay, I want to see this movie when it's exclusively on this,
Yeah.
instead of like it's in theaters everywhere. You walk
Yeah.
and go get it, and go watch it. So
And those are, and it's like, I mean, Hobbs and Shaw's, there's probably a Blu-ray of that, so I could buy that. But
100%.
do I really want a Blu-ray of Hobbs and Shaw? I don't know. Maybe I
Maybe a
might.
DVD.
Yeah.
Um,
Did they make a DVD of Hobbs and Shaw? Are they making DVDs of new
I think they
movies?
still do. I think they still do. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
When's that going to stop? You think that seems like that's going to stop soon?
DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs.
I don't know. I feel like there's definitely a market of people still buying them.
Mm-hmm.
There's gotta be, right? I mean,
They're
they
cheaper.
have to stop. They're cheaper, and I think people just like. I think they're cheaper. So I think there's gotta be some people that are just willing to just like buy like a $2 DVD.
And sometimes they don't look that different than like a Blu-ray releases. It just really depends on the updates and stuff. However, this movie will be interesting because this movie was in SD, like in not HD. And boy, have I not seen a movie that looks like that in a while. Like I've been used to the crisp ass, crispy juiciness.
I was really mad. I was like, come on, like this is an HD version.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe they don't have it. Do you think they don't have it?
Maybe. I feel like there's gotta be a Blu-ray of this movie, right?
Like, didn't they make a Criterion of Dancer in the Dark? Surely.
Maybe. I mean, they've got a lot of Criterions of Lars Von Trier movies, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. There's gotta be a Blu-ray.
Dancer in the Dark?
It was pretty. They gotta be a Blu-ray.
I mean, it was like one of his. Well, we'll talk more about Dancer in the Dark later. It just seemed weird to me that Amazon. I have not seen Amazon ever.
Right?
I could watch Theodore Rex in HD, and I can't watch like Dancer in the Dark in HD.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a fucking problem, Bezos. Come on. Or who's the new guy in charge?
I don't know.
Bezos in onto space.
I don't work for Amazon anymore.
Oh yeah, you're free. How does it feel? You're a free, unemployed man. How is that?
It's cool. Nice.
Oh fuck! Nothing's wrong. It's okay.
I thought I heard it shatter.
It didn't shatter. It was just an empty bottle that fell over dramatically.
That's good. Yeah, it's nice to not be, tied down to fucking bullshit anymore.
Yeah, man.
Like so, but I think I'm starting to do more kind of work at this film festival and doing a lot more music. Trying to figure out different ways to like create content with my music. Maybe we can talk about that. Like I have some ideas about that. But yeah, so it's been cool. It's been nice. I've only been off work for like a week, not even so.
Yeah. Really... So this last week was the first week off.
Yeah.
Are you planning to go to Aspen soon? Did you say you were going to
I'm
do
going to
that?
Aspen in 2 weeks. Or
Oh,
next week.
damn.
Next
Next
Friday.
week.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Next
cool.
week. Yeah.
You'll come here. Well, it's good that you're not coming this weekend because we're about to get a hell of a snowstorm. So that would not be fun to fly in.
Yeah, no. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna go to Aspen, hang out with buddies that are over there.
My
Get some music,
buddies, my friends.
possibly go hiking, possibly go skiing for a day. It'll be
Unbelievable.
fun.
Oh, my mom warned me. You're not going back ski, whatever, like back. What is the word for like hobo skiing? You know, where you go on like the back mountain skiing. Is that what it's called? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, you don't wanna that's how you die.
Yeah, that's what my mom was saying.
Yeah,
It's just
no.
like, hey, don't if you're thinking about going like back mountain skiing
No.
or whatever it's
No.
called, don't do it because there's
Yeah, no.
they'll kill you. So don't
That's
do
how
that.
you die. That is literally how you die.
There's been a lot of people who've been dying from that in Boulder recently.
Really?
Apparently, my mom. So my mom's been
These
telling me.
crazy people that are like, let's just go on a mountain and fucking ski out
Well,
it.
there's some experienced people who where there's like a culture who do that, but like
Yeah.
you have to be
What is that
experienced.
called? I know what you're talking about. I
I want to
don't
say like back country, back mountain.
Yeah.
I like the I hope it's called like hobo skiing or something. I feel like that would be a
Yeah.
sick name for it.
Yeah.
Anything that's like hobo
people-
activity pleases me.
It's just all just like fuck the trails. Fuck.
Yeah. Let's go in. Let's
Yeah,
just jump
part
in
of
there.
me is like, I mean, that's cool. I'd like to see videos of people doing that. But at the same time, it's like there's a reason that there's trails, and there's a reason that like skiing is a major industry and
Yeah.
resort. There's not a lot of people to do that, and it's very, 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 very dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just forget that you know, sometimes being in the modern age and being a modern human is just like I could deal with anything. I'm fine.
Yeah,
But it's like as soon
right.
as you're outside of the city, it's like bear's gonna eat you, son. Like it's gonna eat you real quick. So fast.
Yeah, and also like trees.
Yeah,
You
trees.
gotta be really good at skiing. You gotta be insane if you're gonna be
That's a good point. Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying. That's how you
If you
die.
run into a tree, you die. Yeah, that's true.
Like so, I mean, I've seen videos of people like jumping out of helicopters on skis and going down like random mountains. That's pretty crazy. But those are like they're like professional. They're like they're they're maniacs. You know,
Yeah.
normal people are not that skilled. There's like 0.1% of the population that can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Don't
seems
do that. You're gonna go skiing, pay some money, and just fucking
just go to a resort.
go to a resort. Go ski. Don't die.
Except that you're just a little fishy in an aquarium and enjoy your little fishy slide. Enjoy, just be happy with that, you know?
Yeah.
Grocery stores, all that shit. It's cool, man. It's cool. Didn't you say you had something else besides
Yeah,
Minari that you
so
want to talk about?
Minari is great. Highly recommend. It's very heartwarming.
What's it about before you get into the
It's
thing?
it's
What's Minari
about it's set in the 80s,
Mhm.
and it is about an immigrant Korean family who moves to Arkansas to start a farm
Mm.
and it's really, really good. It's a really good family drama. It's surprisingly really funny. Um, it has maybe the cutest child performance I've ever seen in a movie. The little boy in this movie is so fucking great. He's fucking hilarious and
I'm always impressed by good child performances.
adorable. He's also so like they did like he's been like doing interviews and stuff, and they're so funny. Like he's like 6, and he was asked like, "Who's your favorite actor?" And he was like, Sonic. Like he's adorable.
Really?
Yeah, he's like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, so it's Jim Johnson. He's great in the movie. It stars Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
yeah, I don't know what character he plays, but Yeah, he's fucking great in the
He
movie.
plays Glenn in The Walking Dead.
Glenn. Okay,
I
yeah,
watch
yeah, yeah,
Walking Dead a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's really great. I mean, it's A24, man. They know how to pick fucking movies.
Yeah,
You
dude.
know, you
I
sit down
miss
and you're like,
them.
you see that logo, you're like, it's
All
gonna be
right.
something.
Settle in.
Very good. And then I also wanted to mention something that you've seen too, which
Oh yeah.
in and of itself on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I want to mention this because I don't think a lot of people know what this is, and a lot of people don't like know like this is a thing that exists. And I kind of just want to like recommend it to people because I found it
Yeah.
to be like really fucking cool and like really kind of like it kind of blew me away honestly because I think like for so it's called Derek Delgado in and of itself, and it's on Hulu.
And that's just to repeat it because it's a weird title. It's
Yeah,
in
right.
and of
In and of
itself.
itself, and it is a one man show that um Derek Delgado performed. I think it said they were getting 600 times
Something like
uh
that. Yeah.
in New York. So that's obviously multiple years that he did the show out of New York. Very successful show. And it's directed by Frank Oz. The show is directed by Frank Oz, as well as the film version of it was also directed by Frank Oz. If you don't know who Frank Oz is, do some Google searching, and you'll be like, oh, so
Puppets and shit.
Netflix and shit. I don't know, Yoda. Um, and so yeah, so I got this like recommended to me like from like multiple people. Like it was like I was listening to a couple podcasts. Like both of them were like the same week. Were like, "Hey, you gotta watch. Everybody watch this thing." And I was like, "Fuck, okay."
Okay. All right.
And then a friend of a friend texted me and was like, "Hey, you seen In and of Itself?" I was like, "All right, I gotta watch this now." Like the universe was like telling me to watch it.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't like. I'm trying to like tiptoe around it because like I've been trying to tell people I've been trying to like explain this to people without really giving things away because I think like a lot of it's a very mysterious show and I don't really want to give like I don't want to spoil it or kind of give away kind of what necessarily it's maybe about or what it like because I just feel like it might take away from the experience
Sure.
of
Sure.
watching it. But all I'm gonna say is that Derek Delgado is a magician, and it's not a magic show. Um, but the way that he incorporates magic into the show and how magic is used as a metaphor for maybe identity,
Yeah.
I found it to be incredibly moving. I really
Yeah.
did.
I would. I
I
would. I
was
would
curious
just.
to see what you thought of it because I when it ended, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I was like really into it. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't watch things like that. So there's not a
Yeah.
lot. There's nothing. Honestly, there's nothing really like it either. So you
Yeah.
can't
I
really
was
compare it to
really.
anything.
It was really innovative. I thought it was really cool because of how innovative it was.
Yeah,
And I would describe it as being a combination of sleight of hand or
yeah,
magicianship. I don't know what the
right.
word is, and spoken word,
Yeah, yeah,
which it was integrated sort of the personal spoken word part of it with the sleight of hand stuff
yeah,
was combined in really a good way. It wasn't
right.
just like here's a story, then like here's the thing that I'm doing. It felt really connected to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah. And
and
also, I think like the way that kind of, I mean, I guess it's not really going away. I mean, the tagline of the show is basically like identity is an illusion. And when you go
yeah.
into that kind of thinking that, the way that he like that's basically what kind of the show is about. And I like the way that he uses his, you know, uh techniques as a magician, like especially towards the end, like with the audience, I found to be like really, really like pretty powerful. Like just watching it on. I can't imagine like being there. Like I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really impressive because I never, I little secret about me. I love magic. Fucking, I love it. I really do like magic, and like, I think the showmanship of magic and like, like everything about it, really, I'm really into, and so that was another thing that I love about this because like I've never seen magic used in the context of this that magic is used in this. It's taken kind of. It's not for like show. It's. I describe the show as you're watching Derek Delgado go through like a midlife crisis, like on stage,
Yeah.
and
I think
it's
that's pretty accurate.
pretty cool, you know. And I definitely would recommend anybody to watch it. I don't. Sorry, I'm kind of like trying to like
Dance
kill it
around
because
it.
I don't really. I really think that you should not know much like when you watch this because I think it's just more impactful that way. But
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the things that was really strong about it, the thing that I thought was really impressive with it was I agree with all these things that you're like kind of talking about was how with it's not just like just combining much more than just being like it was much more emotional than just being
yeah,
showmanship of
yes,
skill and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh yeah,
But the other thing I thought was really cool about this was how it really felt like it deserved to be a film, because that's something that
yeah.
I find really annoying sometimes about about shows. Is that like I
Like
get sometimes,
live show,
yeah,
film shows. Yeah,
yeah, it's like I get that you
it's
want
hard
to
to
make
do.
this
It's
more
hard to do that.
accessible. You want to make it more accessible so people can watch it on film and they don't have to go and see it live. But like they don't really, it doesn't really translate to film, and it just feels kind of stale to me or
Yeah,
flat compared to
yeah,
like it's like,
yeah,
well, this is obviously something. It's like filming a play.
yeah.
Like if you
Right.
go and watch a play, you could just sit there and have an experience. But if
Yeah,
you watch like a still shot of the play happening, it's like, what the
yeah.
fuck is the
Right.
point of
Yeah,
this? This
right.
is
Yeah,
garbage. I
yeah,
hate this. For
yeah.
me, it is anyway. Maybe a lot of
It's a
people get a lot
hard.
more out of
No,
that.
no, of course not. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, filming a stage play is it's a fucking challenge. I
Yeah.
have not seen Hamilton yet. I heard that's fucking phenomenal. The film version of Hamilton.
Yeah.
I heard that's great. Oh, I need to watch that because it's kind of weird that I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to see it just because
That'd be fun to do on the
everybody
podcast.
fucking knows like I feel so like not in the loop because everybody knows like Hamilton, and everyone knows like the song and shit, and I think out of
Yeah.
spite, I was like, I will never watch this, but
I just don't
I
care that much about musicals, to be honest.
yeah, I mean like I mean I like them, but like I'm also like there's people in that I'm like a big fan of. Like
Yeah,
I
right.
fucking will watch anything David Gibbs ever got. Like I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Like I listen to his music all the fucking time with clipping. So like, why would I not watch this?
Yeah,
um,
but the point I wanted to make about in and of itself is that it was kind of like Hamilton. Supposedly, it
yeah,
does a really
yeah,
good
right.
job of translating to film,
Hmm.
and that was a thing that I really appreciated. Which also
Yeah,
probably is mostly because of Frank Oz. They have a real director
totally.
behind it,
Yeah, right.
and not just someone just doing like these
Good stuff.
coverage shots.
Right.
He
Yeah,
actually adds some
yeah,
really engaging cinematography
yeah, right.
and visual themes. That's what
Yeah,
I really
right.
liked about it, was
Yeah.
how um like I want to talk about like do you want to like go into spoiler territory with this, or do you want to just
All right,
leave it?
let's do it. We'll say right now, like if you want to watch it, stop right here and then
Yeah,
go watch it and then maybe come back. But yeah, let's talk about it a little bit because
because I really liked the visual. He did it where he made it constantly interesting to see the stage, and it was great that he stuck to the thing that really worked about that show was that he the problem is that sometimes people in a one-man show either do too little or they do try to do too much, and it
yeah,
just doesn't quite work. And he hit like a really good middle mark where he just had the one theme of like the what was the guy,
the 6 stories.
that's the 6
Yeah.
stories, and then
Right.
the 6 barrels, and then the 6
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
6 boxes
Right.
on the wall behind him.
Right.
So everything was just really structured. So
Yeah.
sort of the more abstractiveness of it was
Yeah.
contained within the visual sort of structure that you knew from the
Yes.
very
Yeah.
beginning of
Yeah.
it.
Right.
And I thought that was really effective.
Yeah.
In the way
Yeah.
that he decided to do that. And it just, and sometimes when you also when you it was very satisfying by the end too. And sometimes
Yeah.
that's something else where it's just like you have a big idea and it's just kind of comes off as pretentious when it's just like, well, this wasn't much. It's like this actually felt
Right.
like it had an emotional like payout at the end of the movie, which
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah. The thing that when I was watching, I was like, beginning of it, I was like, wow, this is really intriguing, but I can see like this is kind of a weird. It's a little pretentious in a way in the beginning
Sure.
because it's
Yeah.
kind of like, here's me and I'm telling you how to. Here's the story about the rule of two and you're kind of like, what?
That's what it
Like,
was.
where is this going? Like, it's
Yeah.
an interesting story, but that's kind of how the show is structured, right? It's very mysterious, kind of in the beginning, and as it evolves into kind of what this kind of whole thing is kind of about. And what I love about this is it starts as very personal for Derek Delgado, but it actually becomes about the audience, and it becomes about.
Sure. Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really great because like this could have easily calmed down away. It's like, look at me, you know, I don't know who I am, I identity is
It,
illusion.
it,
We're
it
all
was a
these different kinds
very
of things,
it was a
but
very humanist performance. It just felt like it was very much in the
yeah,
spirit of like bringing us back to, like bringing us together as humans, which was a really it
yeah,
was a really meaningful message, and it was very timely too, to like try to bring us
absolutely.
together and remember us as like just remember us as a species of humans.
And there's a lot of things about it that I love about it, where like I love how he had in the beginning he has like he picks in somebody from the audience, he's like Mr. Tomorrow, Mr. Yesterday,
Yeah.
and they have like Mr. Tomorrow writes in the book of like what they saw up until that point,
Yes. Yes.
and it's such a like beautiful thing because I don't know that like and when it reveals like what people wrote in this book, like how all these different people kind of perceived him one way, kind of making this point that you know, you're not one thing. Like I think that's the thing that hit me so hard is like in our society and as humans, I think we are so kind in that I am a filmmaker, I am an artist, I
Yeah.
am a cashier, I am a whatever. We're labeled as one thing, but in reality, we're not.
Absolutely.
We are so many different things. And on the surface, you could say like, "Well, yeah, obviously," but I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I get it. I mean, they're throughout their whole life almost. They're like, "I am a filmmaker. What am I? What am I?" It's this question that everybody asks themselves, right? Who am I? Who
Yeah.
who am I? What am
I
I?
I
But
think that was
I
a
thought it was
really
so interesting that this tried to answer that question, but at
yeah.
the end, it was kind of like, listen, like I don't know who I am, but almost like and the way the last shot of it is so amazing because like everything that you almost thought perceived as reality is completely gone in a second.
Yeah.
So you don't like
Yeah.
there's no um identity is an illusion. It's something that we perceive, we put on for people. We're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm an artist, or I'm a, businessman, but in reality, are you? That's just your job.
Yeah.
That's not who you are, you know? And I love the ending where he uses his magic and he basically guesses that he correctly guesses about everybody in the audience. And
Yeah.
and that was you see these people in the audience like breaking down, like really emotional for them because he like that's it's a magic trick, but it's using magic in a way that is really emotional, which is like not what you see. And
Yeah.
also when he brings those people on stage and has them read a letter from
That was
I
the
love
most
one.
powerful
Isn't
moment
that
of the
amazing? And
movie. Yeah,
it's
for
that's
me.
another thing. It's a magic trick, but it's so powerful. Like, you see these people break down,
Yeah,
on stage, and
yeah,
like it's such a amazing use of magic that I've never seen ever, and I don't think
yeah.
like we'll ever see something like that. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I thought
I
that took for like a long time to come up with
w-
that
well,
whole thing.
yeah, and I think the other that sort of adds to this aspect is that in addition to just being a really well execution of magic, it's also a wonderful execution of documentary too,
Yeah, right.
because of how the film is edited together. I love this about the film, that they use shots from multiple performances.
Yeah,
They
right.
didn't
Yeah,
just cut
right.
together the
Right.
best performance from all of it.
Yeah, right.
They utilized it to really try to unify like the population, to
Yeah,
make it feel like it's just like this is how it is.
right.
This is how it is for everybody.
Yeah, right.
This isn't just a
One
lightning in the
performance,
bottle an
yeah, yeah,
experience. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
this is life,
yeah,
and it adds to the impressiveness of how the magic is, but it also adds to more of the existentialism that he's talking about, and talking
right.
about which I think the thing that's really interesting about this, which it reminds me of an Orson Welles film called F is for Fake,
Yeah, I didn't
which
see that.
you would if you like this movie, you would love F is for Fake, which F is for Fake is free on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to be the case, so watch it now.
It's on the
um
Criterion channel too, I think.
so, yeah, so if you have the Criterion channel, you can watch that. I love F is for Fake. And it's very similar, where it's talking it's he's Orson Welles is very much into magic and illusions because he's a
Right.
filmmaker.
Yeah, right.
Is very tied to making films, this
Yeah,
idea of illusion.
yeah,
But it's a similar theme to what Orson Welles was talking about in F is for Fake and this movie, which is the deconstruction of our reality as we know it, or
hmm,
identity more specifically, like that you were
yeah,
talking about, which I thought is a really important thing to just kind of like
yeah,
realize,
right,
what my favorite point that he made was talking about how he was not the person that other people see. Like
right,
you
yeah,
see me as a person and you will assume kind of who I am to a certain
yeah,
degree,
right,
but I will not be that person. And every person will see me as something, and maybe it will be similar to the other person, but I'll never be that person that you see at the end of the day.
right,
I am who I am, and only I kind of know that, and I don't even know who
yeah.
that is. And
But
that was like
there's a great
powerful.
one of my favorite like things like too how he like illustrates that is when he tells the story of how he learned sleight of hand and how
Yeah,
he was the dealer, and like told that whole
yeah,
story and how he used those card tricks. It'll blow your mind. It's you see the audience like, what the fuck? Like he guesses the cards in chronological order when he's blindfolded and stuff like that. Um, but that whole thing where he tells that story where he's basically like, you know, I was I had to do he basically put on a front for all these people that he was,
yeah,
because and so it's really interesting how like all those stories just tie into one another.
yeah.
And it's cool.
I think
And that whole story about the brick, where he's like, listen, like, this might just be a gold brick to you, but because I tell the story, it has a whole other meaning, and
yeah,
that whole trick where it disappears. And I love the ending when a lot of the audience members went and looked at where it was and found the brick there for whatever street name, they said in the show. I thought that was great.
yeah,
Too. That's an
yeah,
easy trick to do. Like, it's not that amazing of an action trick, but it's
yeah.
but it's cool. Um,
Yeah, the thing this is, and this is like this is what everyone wishes, but at the end of the day, with like a magic thing, I wish that there was like a cheat sheet so I could figure out how everything was done, because I
yeah,
want to.
I
I know that takes away the magic, so I know a
I
lot of people
used to
don't
be
like
like
that.
that, but to me, like magic, that is the thing about magic to me that's so amazing is like, yeah, it's cool to see these things, but my initial reaction is like, wow, I can't believe he did that. Like, he found out a way to do that. And that's the whole point of magic is like, these people, like, these top magicians like Delgaudio and
Oh,
David Blaine.
yeah.
You see these tricks and you're like, wow, that's amazing. Like, how did you do that? And like, but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's because they have to come up with ways to do this. Like, there's no
Yeah.
like book. Like these top magicians, like they are coming up with ways to trick you.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
just really
kind of like
impressive.
really cool. Like it's so to me, I never really want to know because it would kind of ruin it. Um, and like also
Well,
when I started doing that, like I found out that they're all simple, but like it's it's just impressive that like that's I don't know. I get it though. I
yeah.
get wanting to know.
Well, here's the
Yeah,
thing to me. To me, it's very similar to the effect of like wanting to learn how a shot is done,
of course. Yeah, of
And I
course.
think
Yeah,
I think there's a different degree with magic because the goal of cinema is that you want to bring people into that reality. And even if you tell someone how the shot is made, if you rewatch that movie, you'll still be sucked into there. So even if you tell
yeah,
them how it
right,
is,
right.
but if you tell someone how a trick works, then I understand that if you tell them how it works, it might not have that illusion anymore.
It's
So I
yeah,
understand wanting to
right.
protect that, to sort of protect the reality of that
Yes,
situation.
yeah,
But I'm also, as a creator of things,
yeah,
it's just
right,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
know. I
yeah.
want to know
But
like
it
how you
really
did
like
that.
magic for real though. It will like if you know how something's done, it definitely does like it doesn't like it's not as powerful or it's not as cool when you see it because it's like
Yeah.
unless you're in the magic, you know.
I wish I could like choose just like as an individual to do that though,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Well, probably
and
you
let it be
should do some
protected.
research. You probably find
I
something.
mean, I could if I like. I mean, well, I don't know if I just like emailed him or something. He probably wouldn't
The
respond to me.
card
But
tricks are kind of like those aren't even worth like looking up to me because that's just pure skill. I mean, that's
yeah,
just pure skill. It's kind of
well,
it's
really,
really
really,
impressive. Those,
what I want to know is how he did the notes with the
yeah, right.
people.
Yeah, right.
That's really what I want.
Isn't that
I
cool?
don't even really care about like the ending scene. I just want to know about the notes, like how
Oh,
in
I
fucking
can tell you
hell.
the ending scene is pretty that's pretty simple.
How is it? Tell me.
Like how the you
The
know
trick
how
was done.
the like when all the compartments in the back fall.
Oh no, I mean like the
Oh,
more
the
so
disappearing
the
brick.
no, like like him being able to name what
Oh,
everyone's title card
no, that's
was.
just I don't fucking know that.
Yeah,
No,
that one's astounding. But like I don't have as much input. Like I'm cool with that just being magic, but I really want to
those
know
freak me
how.
out. Like those freak me out. The ones
Yeah,
that like magicians can like read lines, like reading line tricks. Those
yeah,
freak me out. Those that was the craziest example of like a reading line trick that I've seen. I've seen a lot of magic shows.
yeah,
um, I have never seen a trick like that.
yeah. That was very
And he
impressive.
got it right every time.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was funny that Bill Gates was.
There was a
That
lot of celebrities in
made me
that
laugh.
film.
Yeah,
I was looking at like an article that was talking about just all the celebrities, which I mean, it makes sense. It's a high selling show in New
to
York.
New
Of
York.
course,
Yeah,
celebrities are
right.
going to be
Yeah,
there, but still surprising to
yeah.
me when
Like
I've only
Bill
lived in the
Gates is there, he's
Midwest.
like a leader. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
What's up, Bill Gates? How's it going?
But yeah, it's really cool. Highly recommend it. It's on Hulu. It's different. It's unique and
Yeah.
definitely a work of art. It's very cool. Very
Yeah.
very cool.
It's a serious case of effort put into a
Oh my
new
god, yeah.
kind
Exactly
of
did
thing.
that 600 times too.
Yeah.
My god.
What a hustle, man.
Imagine doing that 600. Imagine doing anything 600 times.
I know that's crazy. That's crazy. It's alarming. It's alarming to think
Yeah,
about.
there's like people who perform on Broadway always blow my mind. 'Cause they do those shows like multiple times a day sometimes.
Yeah. Here's okay. This reminds me of something that I thought about, which is about like finding a career, finding out what you're passionate about. Because I like that the thing in this society in this world that we get to do is that we just get to like it's overwhelming, but what you can do is just like do whatever just sort of interests you, you know. I like
Yeah,
that word associated with this is like just do what interests you. Not what you
right.
like, but just what interests you.
Yeah,
Um But I think one of the easiest way to sort of decode like what really interests you and get to narrow it down is to not figure out, not like say it's just like, okay, well, I like art, but I don't like plumbing. It's like those two things are too far apart. It's like obviously you don't like plumbing if you like art. It's like that's
Yeah.
that you can probably guess that. But for me, I was thinking about this. It's like, you know what? I would never be an actor, but I would want to be behind the camera and work with actors. It's like
Yeah.
that really narrows down like what you
Yeah,
kind of
right.
want to do.
Yeah.
So I always think about that in terms of actors. I always find it fascinating because I feel like I should be really interested or kind of like compelled to try acting, but it's like, dude,
Yeah.
fucking cut my dick off. I'm not acting. I have no interest in that
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I mean,
It
acting,
fascinates me.
well, acting's totally different, right?
It's
Than
so
being
different.
behind the camera. Like when you're an
So
actor,
different.
yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, if we're talking like, I mean, I'm more impressed. Like, I'm honestly, frankly, not even really impressed by screen actors almost at all. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think like they're obviously some of them that are very talented, but to me, the real actors are on stage. Like
Yeah.
they are insane. I mean, the thing about them is like that is hard work. I mean, that is like performing every night for 2 hours. Like if you're a lead actor, every night for 2 hours for years, for
Yeah.
2, 3 years, memorizing a whole show, and it's so much more, and it's also so much more stressful as an actor because you have to be on your spot every single time. You know,
Yeah.
you're an actor in film. It's like, let's do another take. You know, obviously, acting is super hard on camera. It has its challenges too. But I'm always super impressed by actors who are on Broadway and stuff because it's such hard
Yeah. I
work.
mean, that's a
It's
really
like
good.
labor. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're doing it from a love of acting. You're doing it from a
Yeah.
love of craft. I feel like there's a lot of screen actors who just want to be like famous and like movie
Yeah.
stars that aren't maybe. I mean, there's a lot of them who are just kind of pretty people that are just like on screen because like they
Yeah.
wanted to be a movie star. And a lot of Broadway actors are like, I just want to I want to sing. I want to fucking act. I want to give powerful performances for people. You know,
Yeah, man.
like
Yeah. You
so.
know,
I'm always
I
super impressed with.
but
You
there's
know,
kind of there's kind of a flip side to that too, which I agree with you 100%. I'm not
no, I do
disagreeing with
not
you
want to
all
act
with this,
though. Jesus
but
Christ.
like, but the situation like this is kind of an interesting like comparison because in a way you could say yes, with the labor that you have to be in character for 2 hours and never be off, that is like more difficult than per se just being in character for a shot.
Well,
But however, when you're in character for 2 hours, you get to be in that experience for that whole time and like be
yeah,
in that group.
right.
But if you're an
Yeah,
actor, you have to be able to turn on whenever you need it,
yeah,
like
right. Yeah,
at the turn of a dime,
yeah.
and it's like you can
I'm
do
also
multiple
thinking of
takes,
like
but
even like on your body. You know, like on like just a
mhm,
physical, like just to be on stage and
yeah,
like act for 2 hours without
yeah,
like when you're a screen actor, you like do a take, you're like, I'm gonna go take a sip of water now. I'm gonna take a
yeah,
break real quick. Like like those actors, like that's hard on their body, it
yeah,
has to
right.
be.
I've been, we talk about like humanists, like being human is being imperfect, and we're always imperfect in some degree. But the thing that I'm always so impressed by what humans can do is how consistently you can like create a performance. Like like
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
musician, if you practice enough, you can create a damn good live performance every single time. And you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about it. They
Right.
don't worry about it's like is
Yeah.
like they do to a certain degree. Like, is this gonna be good or
Just
not?
repetition.
But like and the repetition, but I was thinking about this in terms of the show that of in and of itself. I was thinking about when he was stacking the cards on the brick. Like,
Yeah.
how many times do you have to fucking stack those cards to
Yep.
know that you're not gonna fuck that up?
I know, right?
How many times?
A lot.
That's
A lot.
crazy,
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he
I
and he
bet he rehearsed the fuck out of that.
yeah.
I mean, that whole show, I would assume he rehearsed for close to a year before he started doing that.
I mean, I would guess
Yeah.
like he's been practicing like that's 10 years of practice like that
Yeah,
went
it
into
seems
that
like
show.
that, right?
Easy,
Yeah.
easy, 10 to 20 years of
And that's like
practice.
so impressive. That's so impressive, but it's also like masochistic. You know, it's like
Yeah.
he's like, wow,
Well,
like
to a
holy
degree,
crap.
well, but if you think about anything, if you really want to be good at anything, you really have to spend at minimum 5 years on it. That's
Yeah.
really the truth about it,
Well, I think it's just impressive too because, like, yeah, sure, like film, like you make like a film, like one film, obviously crazy amount of work, years and stuff go into that. But
Yeah,
there's like editing, you know, there's editing involved. Like you maybe see
sure,
something and
sure.
like be like, that didn't work. But like when you perform like on stage, everything has to be perfect,
Yeah.
like every night for like 600 nights or whatever he did that for, you know.
Yeah, I don't that's one of the things I would love
I've
to.
never even like attempted to even make a stage play, so I have no idea what it entails and what that's like. But
Yeah, yeah. I think about the situation, like I think about Bo Burnham too with his stage plays, and
uh
specifically, he has this one moment where he talks about how choreographed his stage play is, and he does a
yeah,
snap at the exact same
yeah,
time that a
yeah,
music
yeah,
cue comes
yeah,
on. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
dude, that
So funny.
makes my stomach hurt by
Yeah,
how much you have probably had to practice.
that's why he
It's
quit.
like, yeah, seriously. Like,
Yeah,
can you imagine how fucking stressed out he is? He's like
no,
counting in his head while reciting stand
yeah,
up.
yeah,
It's like, dude, that's crazy. And you still make it relatable?
yeah.
I don't
I mean, all
understand.
stand-ups do that, you know. Like everything is see. Like you watch a Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle stand-up, everything is to the word, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty,
And
pretty cool.
maybe we should transition into Dancer in the Dark, because this is kind of an interesting transition,
Uh-huh.
because Dancer in the Dark is a really interesting example. Dancer in the Dark is the movie we chose this week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately or not, I don't fucking know yet. I'm glad I watched it, but like Dancer in the Dark is an example of a film that is kind of like it feels like a French New Wave sort of
Yeah,
access
yeah,
to brutal realism, brutal,
yeah,
emphasize fucking
yeah,
brutal,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And but it also, there's clearly it's not improvisation to a certain degree. There is a
No.
degree of improvisation,
Yeah.
but it's so that's kind of an interesting thing to kind of talk about in this sense. It's
Yeah.
like the choreographedness of
Yeah.
this film, where it feels so brutally real and organic
Yeah.
too.
Right. Totally. Yeah, it's a good transition. So I chose this, fortunately or unfortunately. Um, Before I say anything, I just want to warn people if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, maybe I'll watch this from the dark. This is a very sad and depressing movie. Just a warning. I think it is worthwhile, and I think you should see it, especially if you're
But
from New York.
it is emotionally
It's very sad.
intense.
Yeah, it's very emotionally intense. Um, and I chose this because we like Bjork has come up like a few times, and like I love Bjork,
I've
and
worshipped York.
so I was like, oh yeah, let's watch Dancer in the Dark. I know Jesse hasn't seen it. I've seen it before years ago, like in college, like sophomore year in college, and yeah, I so this is also directed by Lars Von Trier, who's an interesting figure. He's Dutch. He's a Dutch filmmaker who is very controversial. To the point, like, we say that, you know, like, we say, like, oh, Nicholas Winding Refn, controversial. Quentin Tarantino, controversial. Lars von Trier is at a different level of that.
Yeah.
He truly is controversial. This guy has said some crazy things, like, for example, I understand Hitler, or I'm a Nazi. Um, and his films are in most notably this, Antichrist, Nymphomaniac, are in House of Jack Built. Haven't seen it, but I've just heard things about it. Very brutal, like violent, emotionally
sexually
distressing,
sexually
sexually
graphic.
graphic. He makes very extreme films. All I can really
Hmm.
say is that he's like an
Hmm.
extremist. I
Yeah.
think Dancer in the Dark is, believe it or not, is the least extreme of
Yeah.
one of his movies that I've
Yeah,
seen.
I feel
But in
like
terms of like graphic,
yes, yeah,
like
like
sexual violence, yeah,
visualness,
yeah,
visual.
maybe
It's
not emotionally. Uh,
yes,
uh,
that is literally
yeah.
what I was going to say. That was sort of
So
exactly right.
what this film's about is Bjork. It stars Bjork. And if you don't know who Bjork is, she's an Icelandic singer, iconic art pop
She's basically a gift
queen.
from God
Yeah,
that we don't deserve
yeah, don't deserve.
mostly.
And she this came out in the year 2000, and this was as a big Bjork fan.
Same year that as Pokemon 2000. Fun fact, which is the Pokemon film with Lugia in it. If you are at home and fucking sleeping on good media.
Anyway, so this was like the peak, almost like to me, the peak of Bjork's creativity. Like she had just put out like back to back like phenomenal albums. Like this is like when she was kind of really like I think Desperate came out what 2001, 2001.
I
To
do
me
not
that
know.
was the peak. So like this is
Yeah.
kind of so she was killing it musically, and this is a film about she plays Selma, who's she's from Czechoslovakia, and she lives,
I'm gonna fucking cry, dude. Just hearing her name again.
moves to America with her son. Um, to, and she is I don't know how to describe this. So she's basically working to get money to pay for her son's shirt operation because he's going blind.
Yeah, it's a genetic disease
Yes,
that she also has, so
she
she's
also
going
has.
blind and her son's going blind.
She's going blind throughout the film,
Hmm.
and she's very poor, and she's living with this couple, a cop and his wife.
She's living on a trailer on
Yeah,
their
trailer on
property.
their property. Yeah, and and what's interesting about this is that it's a musical. Um, and
Bet you didn't expect that,
no,
fuckos. There's
and
fucking songs and dances in this shit.
yeah, and so a big part of this movie is that she thinks that she wants America to be like, the Hollywood musicals that she loves watching, right? And
Yeah.
that's why she moved to America in the first place. There's a line in the movie about that. And I, so this is a film that is very, very emotionally crushing, but I think it's a movie that is really good. Like
Yeah.
I think this film is great. Um, and this is the second time I watched this from the dark, and you bet your fucking ass I will never watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Maybe for a long time.
Well, let me
Um,
let me let me ask you let me ask you this, because why were you compelled to watch it again or like suggest it in this
um,
situation? Was it just for me?
I think it was for you. I think like I was like I think Jesse should see this
Yeah.
because you like New York. But I really wasn't thinking clearly. Like I think I was like, oh yeah, that's a movie. I literally had blocked out how emotionally distressing this movie is.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I'm gonna straight up. I mean, I cried. I mean, I cried again watching this. I haven't
Oh,
cried this hard in a movie in like a long time, like a
yeah,
long,
dude.
long, long time. And I hadn't seen this before, so I knew it was coming. Um, this is a really intense movie. But I think before we talk about I think we should talk about the filmmaking of this and kind of
Yeah.
what makes this movie actually really cool and really interesting is so what this film kind of I find to be so interesting is how this is a musical and like when I say like there are multiple musical numbers in this movie. There are I think seven, maybe six or seven of them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's
Yeah,
like less than maybe a little bit less than 10.
and they're all sung by New York. So the music in this film is original music by New York.
And I read on Wikipedia, of course, that the lyrics were by Lars Von Trier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, and um, and so I think we can talk about the music now or whatever. I think the music's great.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I really like a lot of the songs in this. I think they're really good, especially "I've Seen It All," which I love that song. Um, the I rewatching the movie, I was like, I kind of hated it because when I first saw this movie, I downloaded the I've seen it all um on on my phone, like on Apple Music or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy, the male part is sung by Tom York on the recorded version of it.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you watch the movie and the Jeff character, not Tom York.
Yeah, right.
Does not have the beautiful pipes that
Well,
Tom York has.
honestly, I want to listen to the
It's
Tom York
great.
version.
No, it's
I
fucking
haven't
it's
listened to
great. In
that,
the
but
movie, it's great. But
yeah.
I was just like, this version, I've been listening to the
Yeah, sure,
really
sure,
well
sure, sure.
recorded version of it
Yeah,
with
sure.
Tom York and York like duetting.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, you're like, oh, this is not the same. But yeah, I love that song. He's nominated for an Oscar for that song. Yeah, I think all the music is great in this movie. And so what the musical numbers kind of do in this movie is they act as Selma daydreams throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So there are uh, scenes and sequences that break out into musical numbers that are choreographed and that are done in a really weird and like interesting stylistically. It's almost like the anti-musical in a lot of ways.
Yes.
The
I
way
think
that
that's
it's
a good word
edited,
for it. That's a
the
really
way
good
that how
description.
the chaotic kind of musical numbers. It's not a Hollywood musical, and that's on purpose.
Yeah.
And so I guess we need to start with that. But like, so did you like the music in this movie? I'm just curious.
Oh, dude, like I watched this movie on what was it? When did I text you? It was like a couple of days ago. I watched this movie on Tuesday. And I was I've had some time where the last couple of days it has not affected me. And I was hoping that I would be able to talk about this like in kind of like more of
Yeah.
like an objective, omnipotent, like kind of like deconstruction type of sense.
Right.
But it's like all flooding back to me as like as soon as I
Yeah.
think about it. Um,
Sure.
like, dude, I don't even know. Like it was so I've never been fucked up this way by a movie before.
Yeah.
And the reason that it fucked me up so much was the combination of like the realist cinematography and the music. So,
Yeah.
yes, I love the fucking music. The music
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Right.
is the music is it's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's just fucking brilliant, dude. Like I can't like it to it's so genius that he was able to literally destroy my soul. I felt like I was
Yeah.
absolutely
Right.
decimated and I had to like
Yeah.
venture into the nether to refine my identity
Yeah.
because of how brutally it decimated my sense of like
Yeah.
who I
Right.
was,
Yeah.
because it was so like I'm thinking about like I've seen it all, which is so beautiful because of how objectively wonderful the song is. Because okay, the thing that's great about musicals is how it's a great way of like expressing an emotion. You know, it's like it's a great
Yeah.
way of showing joy. Whoa, can you still hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay.
Your video is
Uh
kind of
my
cutting out.
my whole computer just fucking froze for a
Yeah. No.
second.
I heard you. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Um So, like in a normal musical, we see that like a song might be shown to represent like what joy feels like, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Like this is joyous and it's a great because joy is a complicated emotion. So, it makes sense that we might need more than just like saying I'm happy to indicate what it actually feels like to feel joy. Music is good for that. But
Yeah.
this movie is different because this
Yeah.
movie has like so many layers of emotional like qualities to the I've seen it all thing, because the I've seen it all is literally like is on one sense the optimist's perspective of like seeing the world as beautiful and being okay with like I've seen enough, I'm okay living my life not
Yeah.
seeing any more about
Right.
that. But then it also adds to the specific rejection of this character where you
Uh-huh.
realize that she is like hiding something from herself and pushing it deep down so she
Right.
doesn't have to deal with it because she can't, because she has so much other shit that she's trying to deal with.
Yeah.
She's trying to help her son. um or the fucking dude, the song right after she kills the police officer. The music, the musical number
Yeah.
after she kills the police officer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to watch that again without
Uh-huh.
like, well, I'm not even gonna. The ending. I can't even like
Yeah.
thinking about the ending. It makes
Yeah.
me start to feel a little bit red and hot and
Yeah.
puffy. But like
Right.
thinking about like the duet with the officer, like
Yeah.
I cannot believe how well this movie captures what I mean, I haven't experienced this kind of grief before, but what a human would feel like when in
Right.
that situation.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what like really fucking scared me about this
Yeah.
movie is
Right.
that it like put me in this place and I've never been like in that situation where I've killed a police officer or something, but when that musical number started, it's like I feel like I've killed this man. And I feel like I'm
Yeah.
feeling the guilt that like Selma is feeling is going through this. And it was extra disturbing because Selma is such a like a naive and
Mm-hmm.
beautiful character to a certain degree and
Yeah.
childlike and wonderful
Yeah.
and like everyone kind of loves her, but the world is still like destroying
Yeah.
her life.
Right.
So like, oh, I don't know if I feel like
Yeah.
I'm kind of like emotionally
No,
rambling
no,
at
no.
this
That's. I
point,
think
but
that's good. I think
I
like
I I
I
love the
definitely think.
music. I
Yeah, the
love the
music is
music.
really great. The music is. It's kind of like it's funny because in a lot of ways I think this movie is kind of the anti-musical, and I think
Mhm.
there are parts of this that I don't love, honestly, and part of it, like this movie, and I think part of it is just because Lars Von Trier. I am totally part of the camp that I think some of his movies are sad porn. That they are just kind of
Mhm.
like really almost like masochistic in the way that like it's like depression, like just depressing movies.
Yeah.
Um, and so there are parts
That's a good word for it.
where I was
Sad
just
porn. I like
like,
that.
there's like a couple, except for the end, obviously, it's incredibly powerful. The kind of there's sections of this where I'm just like, come on, man, like this is just so sad. Like this is just
Yeah.
so ridiculous. But I understand that it works for the movie. That there's some parts of the movie where I kind of roll my eyes and like, okay, this is a little like the scene that I don't love is the court scene where like that kind of feels
Yeah.
really kind of corny in a way. Like it's kind of there's like you were mentioning that yes, there's an aspect to this that is very real. It's filmed in a very realistic, almost documentary esque way, and that's actually something that I kind of
Documentary ass.
documentary ass, documentary esque type of way. And like I I really like that about this movie, but there's also times where I think it doesn't work because sometimes the staging of the scenes feel very staged. Like they feel it feels like the characters are like it feels like that the actors are saying dialogue instead of
Sure.
like and that's kind of the courtroom scene to me where it was just like it just felt so like movie, like other than like
Yeah, yeah, I know what
this.
you mean.
So those are kind of my only issues with this, but I think that my favorite thing about this movie, honestly, is Bjork. And I think Bjork is absolutely incredible in this movie.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think like what you're getting at, and I think what makes this so powerful for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people love this movie. This is like definitely Lars von Trier's most liked movie. I would think this and
Which is pretty
Dogville,
funny.
which I have
Yeah,
not seen.
I heard a lot about Dogville.
Yeah.
This is one of the one I heard about the
Um,
most.
and and I get it. And I think a lot of that has to do with Bjork. And I think because Bjork's performance is incredibly innocent and incredibly childlike and incredibly, she is so sweet and so heartwarming and just so inviting. And in the beginning of this movie, you are in love with her. You are like, I love this person. So
Yeah.
when you see these things happen to this character, it is immensely crushing. Like the casting of Bjork is kind of it's genius. As much as I
Yeah.
don't like Lars von Trier as a person, I have to acknowledge like I read that he like took like a year or something to convince Bjork to do this movie,
Yeah.
and it's genius. Like the Bjork being in this movie is really kind of what makes it work, I think, because she is acting her ass off, and like especially towards the second half, that it is just crushing, emotionally just devastating. And it's because of her performance. It's excellent, and also the way that this movie is filmed is makes it extra, intense, right? Because the way
Yeah.
that it's filmed, it's a documentary. And so I guess I also wanted to discuss kind of like um how this movie kind of like the plot of it. So basically, like Selma's character is working like multiple jobs, trying to get this money to get the operation for her son, and Jeff, who might be the biggest pussy in cinema history. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
this
he's a fucking
character.
stalker. Is what he is. He's a
Well, no, not
stalker.
that guy. But sorry, Bill. Bill, the cop,
Oh, the
is
cop.
maybe the biggest pussy in cinematic history, and
What
I'm not
a
even exaggerating about
what a
that.
weak
If you
soul.
break down what his character does, wow,
Yeah.
like he basically runs out of money, and he's so scared to tell his wife because
Yeah.
his wife can keep buying shit.
Well, here's the scary thing about the Bill situation because go ahead and say what happened
So
and
I
what's
mean, like,
associated.
so what happens is that Bill, like, basically, like, frames Selma basically, for like killing himself or like, which is it's horrible, right? It's incredibly sad, but at the same time, you're
Ugh.
like, yeah, this Bill character, what a pussy! Like,
Yeah, I mean the thing
what the hell?
I think the Bill character is one of the things I found to be most impressive about it because there's a situation where Bill is the character, him and his wife are basically the landlord for Selma, and they love Selma
Yeah,
allegedly, and they're letting them live very cheaply on the land. And Bill is a police officer who's allegedly come into a lot of money from his parents, but his wife has spent so much that it's all gone away. And
right,
he has lost all of his security um at his life and is worried to basically ruin the life he set up that because now he can't afford
yeah,
the lifestyle
right,
that they have and he can't
right,
bring that up, so he steals from Selma like you said
right,
and tries to pin it on him, but he has this suicide complex which leads to the first real conflict of the movie,
yeah.
which I
That's kind
the,
of the point where the movie gets like to me gets like really, really, really
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah, so
really, really
like
engaging.
I think that point is a really, really important point of the movie for multiple reasons. Because for like one sense, I think so. I'm not really sure how to interpret this. So let's back up from the Bill moment. I think we should talk about that. I do want to talk about that because it's really, really complicated. And like just saying that he convinced her to commit suicide for him sounds really strange, but that's what happened. But
Yeah.
like it was really interesting because for me, I had a really hard time getting into this movie. I kind of hated this
Uh-huh.
movie for the
Uh-huh.
first half of it.
Uh-huh.
Like I was just really almost disengaged. Like it was not until the second musical act that I was really
Yeah.
kind of invested in it.
Yeah.
And I dread to say this, but I feel like I need to watch it again to really figure shit out. I really am not looking forward to that at all. But I'm not sure like if the first half is kind of what you're talking about, where it's sort of like this more self-indulgent sad porn.
Well,
That like
I
takes
think
a big
yeah.
go
I
ahead.
think for me, like I agree with you, like the first for really the first it's not until the first like musical number in the factory is when it like really like picks up for me, the first like
Yeah.
daydream sequence.
That didn't even really connect with me at first. I think
Okay,
the
yeah.
second time I watched it, it would
Yeah.
connect with me, but when I watched it the first time, it didn't as
Well, the
much.
reason that like I say that is because that is completely unexpected. Like the first time I saw it, like
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
expecting it to break out into a musical number,
yeah,
and
yeah,
when it does, it's incredibly like powerful. Like it's
yeah.
to me, it's like really. interesting. And that song is a slapper. Like using the fucking all the click clack boom blam. The
Yeah.
fucking, like
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
fun ass song. Um, but to me, the beginning of it is, Lars Von Trier. He's kind of known for, especially like Nymphomaniac, the way that this movie's edited to be really, and especially in the beginning, very nauseating and kind of, some would say
Yeah.
bad. I wouldn't say maybe bad. It's almost like he's editing like moments in the conversation that you like need to see.
Yeah.
And so it can feel very choppy and like it's trying to set up all these different characters very quickly and not really letting it like sit. And so I think the beginning of this movie is very like honestly like jumbled and very like aimless. Like I don't really know
Yeah.
where it's going.
Which
Uh,
is kind of like which is kind of, as you're saying this is the thing I fucking hate about this movie, because at so many points I wanted to like just like dismiss it and say this is garbage. I want to stop watching. But the thing I fucking hate about it is that I kept coming to conclusion for why things were happening the way they were. And that the way you just really
yeah,
clicked with
right.
me is that it sort of adds to the beauty of it, where you have this beautiful whirlpool of aimless madness that sort of all comes together at that scene to me
Yeah,
when she kills
yeah,
Bill.
right.
And
And so
it's
that's
like
my point. Is
yeah,
yeah, that I completely agree with you. Like, and I think like what's
that's so
interesting about
expensive.
that scene is
I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off that that's the case. Fuck,
what
man, because that means that it's good. I hate that this movie is so good, because I
what?
want, because it destroyed me, man. I want to say it's like bad. I want to
Yeah,
say
it's
it's like
supposed to be
cancer,
good.
but
It's destroying you, man. It's emotionally destroying. It's good. It's
yeah,
good. You need that
it's
for the soul, man.
I really, yeah, you do. Fuck.
Um, but yeah, but like I think a lot of that, like that, well, a lot of the dramatic tension like builds up to that scene, right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but also you could actually see the style of the film kind of change, like this
Yeah.
quick editing and this kind of
Yeah, that's a great
weird,
fucking
like
point.
chronological, like it, like that moment when she kills Bill. It's like
Kills Bill.
very kills Bill, very the quick cuts are almost gone. They're almost like non-existent, and
They're
in a
nauseating long takes after that.
yes, and for a reason, like it's very good at doing that.
Ugh.
And so from there, it's like really because the thing that is really is this Selma's character, right? Because she's so innocent and basically is
Yeah.
so um she gets in this horrible situation because she's keeping a secret, you know? And she's keeping a secret and she
Yeah.
is like just a good person. So when you
Yeah.
watch, so it's just incredibly sad to where this movie doesn't have a happy ending in the slightest. This is a very depressing
Yeah.
film.
You know,
And it kind of turns into a movie about people who are wrongfully acquitted for things, right?
sure.
There,
Yeah.
this is something that happens, unfortunately, maybe not a lot, but this
Well,
happens.
okay, so this is kind of fucked, dude. This is crazy, because this also really goes with the theme of in and of itself, which is the deconstruction of reality, which is I thought was one of
Yeah.
the brilliant things. This is why I like the court scene. I think your points about it feeling
Oh,
like
yeah,
overly
yeah,
movie,
yeah,
but like the message that it exemplifies with distorting what reality looks like is
yeah,
really
right,
poignant to
yeah.
me. That's like
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing,
like, well, when
because
she breaks out into a musical number during that scene,
yeah,
the court, yeah,
but
I
like
love that. Yeah,
but like specifically in the courthouse scenes, where it like, to me, I thought was really impressive, was it like it makes sense why she was sent to death row. Spoilers.
yeah, right.
It makes sense. It's just like, man, based on how they presented this information,
Of
which
course,
is like
yeah,
warped and fucked up, but
right,
like it makes sense why she was sent there. I
right,
understand why people believe that,
yeah,
That's
right,
why it's so emotionally devastating, because it's not like that's what Hollywood does. It makes it
yeah,
really align with who the good and who the bad is. But in this
right,
situation, it's so distorted. So it's like, I know I resonate with Selma, but I understand why they think that she did this and they
Of
want to
course,
send her
yeah,
to death
right,
row.
yeah.
And I hate that, I
Well, it's
hate that I
so
don't know who
horrible
the villain
because
is.
well, it's horrible because yeah, there is no villain per se, right? And there's
Yeah.
no and like yeah, it's a situation where you watch it and you're like, there's no way to get out of it almost,
Yeah.
like and the other just horribly sad thing about when she goes to jail, and something that is amazing about Moore's performance is throughout the film you can see her getting more blind, and the way that she's
Yeah.
acting, especially in the jail scene, how she's becoming blind, is really well done and super fucking powerful and sad. Um, to just watch this character go blind throughout the film.
Yeah.
Um, and her resilience to not almost care and just do everything she can for her son. Um, and to the point where like that one of them like the ending is obviously, you know, ball your eyes out sad.
Yeah.
But um another scene that is like it just fucking hits me is when the fucking lawyer comes in, the other lawyer comes in to tell her that she could possibly, like get out of death row,
Yeah.
just the money. She kind of refuses it because that's the last money that she has to get her.
Well, because it's like the she has a friend who's outside who's
Yes,
trying
yeah,
to
right,
basically is trying to get her out of death row and uses the money that she saved up
yeah,
throughout the film to get her out of death row, but it means her son can't get surgery. So
right,
it's like a really emotionally conflicting point.
yeah, right,
It's incredibly emotionally destructive and cruel of Lars Van Trier to
uh
put that in there
huh,
because it
yeah,
makes it though it's like fuck, you can't do it. You
yeah,
can't
right.
do it.
Yeah, there's that great scene where she's arguing with her friend over the phone.
Uh
There's that great scene.
uh
Yeah,
Bjork is so good. Like I
she's
love
great. Great in that scene. Yeah,
that's such a beautiful moment for Bjork because that's the moment like you were talking about how like with her dealing with her blindness, how she says she's not strong, right? On all of these kinds of things throughout this movie,
uh-huh.
but she's clearly an incredibly strong person to
Yeah,
be able to withhold all of this emotion and just like
right.
maintain like this composure through all of this shit
Yeah.
and not break from under this. And that was like a moment where she it was too much, it's just
So
like too
another
much.
thing, yeah. So another thing I want to say that we haven't mentioned yet is like yeah. So there are these great dream sequences where she goes into kind of like whenever a horrible situation's happening, she goes into a musical number
Yeah,
um, to kind of
which
get
is
her away from this reality, and
yes,
that
yes,
kind of
yes.
leads her. Another thing that like on top of all these plot points that we're talking about, that is incredibly, incredibly sad. Another thing that makes this like go above and beyond like an emotional thing is it's a musical.
Yeah.
So when music is incorporated and how Selma,
Mm.
when Selma's in the cell and she's like, it's so quiet, I can't hear
Yeah,
anything.
she's in like the like an isolation situation.
And like because she hears music through that's one of the more beautiful things about this is this character is so, you know, full of life almost because she hears music and everything, like and the machinery, the people right in the courtroom, writing on the
Well, it's emotionally devastating because it's like if Bjork the person it's like an
yeah,
alternative reality for
right,
Bjork as a person if she instead of being Bjork as we know her was trapped in this life and she
right,
still had all of the Bjork music that we listen to, but it's only in her head. That
yeah,
is like a huge tragedy to me.
yeah,
That's like saying that Mozart didn't exist or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
That's
right,
so
yeah.
crazy emotionally devastating.
And there another character that I love is the female cop who Martha, who that's her name, who she
Uh
befriends in prison. Every time I see her though, I know that actress. And
Hmm.
every time I couldn't stop. I kind of was laughing when she first came up because she's in Men in Black, and
Mm.
she played the wife of Vincent D'Onofrio's character, who
Hmm.
makes him sugar water. You know,
No
so every
fucking
every time I
shit.
see her, I was like sugar. Sugar water. Like I was just like
Wow.
sugar. I was like, it's
Dude,
a
I
sugar
remember
water
that
lady.
now. I know I
Uh,
recognized her. I know she looked
yeah,
familiar. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
She is incredible in this movie. Like all the acting is fucking great, but like those scenes where she is like courting Selma and like trying to like calm her down and it's fucking just
Yeah,
crushing.
the other thing that's like so horrible about that last moment where we have that her character introduced is it really signifies this theme throughout this movie is that someone goes through all of this basically the horror of being a lower class person in America,
Yeah, right.
and
Yeah.
having to deal with that like extreme
Where
poverty.
what state is this
I
in?
don't know. I don't know if they ever said it. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if
don't
they
think
ever said it.
they did either. Because,
But
like, I
what
mean, obviously, they don't do, spoiler, they don't do hanging in every state. I don't even
yeah.
know if they do that anymore. But
Well, I think yeah. I think it's
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
curious.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd be curious. I'm curious too. But like the thing that
Dude,
about that
her,
last scene,
Google that.
yeah. Where can you hang people?
Yeah.
Probably the South.
Yeah, I would assume, yeah.
I won't name names, Alabama, but we're probably
It
somewhere
actually
in the
might be
South.
Alabama. Let's
Yeah.
actually go. Let's see if Dash in the car. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, look that. Well, look that up while I say this last point
Yeah.
because not last point, but the thing about that scene with that prison guard was it really exemplified how infectiously lovable Selma was as a person,
Yeah.
because of her. She wasn't just
Washington.
like innocent where people Washington. No,
Yeah,
I
makes sense.
was not thinking that,
Yeah.
but like Selma is childlike, but she's not like in the kind of way where it's like people like pity her and need to protect her.
Yeah.
It's like you are so pure that I can't help but love you, and
Right.
you're in death row.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing
So,
I can do about it. Her whole
yeah.
character was
And
kind of like to really emphasize that, I feel like.
so ultimately, she gets executed. And there, I have not, there definitely are movies where, like, there's just movies about people on death row. There's notably The Green Mile, obviously. That's a great movie. That's also about death row. There's an execution in The Green Mile that obviously, if you've seen that movie, it sticks with you. It's incredibly brutal. But The Green Mile is a Hollywood version, I would say, about
Yeah.
of an execution scene. Still incredibly powerful and incredibly sad. Um, this is a different level of that. I mean, this is I mean, it is really hard to watch.
Which
It's
I
one
think
of the like hardest. Like, if this movie works for you, like if you're watching this and you're like into and you like York and you like Selma's character, I mean,
yeah.
this will destroy you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like watching. It's like watching like it's like the main character get
Well,
executed. You know,
it's literally like watching a person die.
it
I
is.
will like
It literally is.
I've never watched a person die before, so I don't know like how I would feel in that situation. But this is the closest I have ever felt to literally watching a person die.
Yeah, and it's really, really, really brutal. You know, obviously, and but also it's so funny because like I love it. Like I love the filmmaking in it. Like it's really powerful and really great. Like when she,
Yeah.
I couldn't even like describe it. When she's like the word. You know what really gets me? This is all this
What?
really gets me about this end scene that I cannot deal with is when she when she says I'm scared. That's when I like completely lose it. That's when I
I
like completely lose it.
I
Um,
lost I lost
but
I lost all semblance of masculinity as soon as they had to walk her out of her bed.
lost your man card.
My man card was
Yeah.
gone, dude.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
I
Yeah.
was cucking like because her when she said like her legs don't work anymore.
My legs don't work. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's not. It's very, 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 very sad.
oh fuck,
But
dude. You can't I literally can't think that like specifically about it because it will make
yeah.
me cry.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
also the
oh
song. This is like the one thing where it's like the 107 Step song. Like
yeah.
I can see that, just like somebody watching that and being like, really? Like, come on, like, you really gotta like push the nail even deeper. Have like at
Yeah.
least a number about the fucking steps to death row. Like Jesus Christ.
That was brutal.
So
That's so
like
brutal.
I could understand someone being like, oh dude, that was just like so like sad porn, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we really had to do that. We're already going through the ringer. Um, but to me, the scene that the end scene, that song that she sings, when
But
she
well, that
yeah,
song. That song, it's
yeah,
also really brutal because that's the first song where it's not a dream. She's singing it in the
exactly,
reality of the
right, right,
film,
right, right,
and that makes it so
yeah.
much more painful.
You want to hear
So
something kind of
painful.
like funny anecdote? When this movie came out, I think I read something where like like people in Britain were I think there were people outside the theater with reimbursement tickets like ready to like
Yeah.
give to people. So like they're like, okay, people are gonna walk out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are theaters preparing like every screening of this movie for people to
Wow.
walk out and give them refunds. If
Wow.
that's not a, if that doesn't show a sign of that this movie works, I don't know what is. Like
Yeah.
this, you walk in and you go, "Hey, this movie like really fuck you up," you know?
Yeah. That's a really because you that's a really really good point because usually you think of like walking out as being a sign of like this movie's so bad I don't want to watch the end of it.
Yeah,
But like this movie is so emotionally direct
yeah,
that it's like this is too direct for me. I can't confront this part of
yeah,
myself.
right, yeah, exactly, yeah, right.
And it's like I was
It's kind of similar to like how people feel. Some people feel about horror movies, where they
yeah,
like
no,
can't
yeah, so
watch
true.
it.
Yeah.
To me, this is like 100 times worse than being scared in a horror movie.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
mean, I think the other thing I was thinking about with this movie is that if you watch this movie logically, you're not going to have a lot of fun, If you like watch this movie logically in terms of it, like I think it makes sense. All the logical decisions the characters make, but you have to understand
yeah,
the logic of this film is based around human emotions. And it's not movie human emotions, it's real human emotions. So
right,
like the illogicalness that the reason why Bjork doesn't tell her story about like what really happened in the court scene, the reason why like
yeah,
Bill acted in the way where he was trying to get Bjork to like kill him, all the stuff. Like
right,
it's illogical in terms of like if you're a robot, but if you
yeah,
think of like a human who's actually in a situation, what's so disturbing is that that is what humans do.
yeah,
So
exactly,
you
right,
have, and it's
right,
disturbing. It really is disturbing because it's so disturbing because that is what would happen. And it would
yeah, right,
fucking happen to you. If you were Selma, this would happen to you.
yeah,
That's
right,
why I find this movie so penetrating to me
yeah,
because
right,
it's like, there is no way if I was that person, I couldn't avoid that. It
yeah,
doesn't matter like how smart I was, any fucking shit
right,
like that, that
right,
I would have been a victim in that
yeah,
situation. Or
yeah,
I could have been Bill. All of that shit
yeah,
is
right,
real. It could have been you. You
yeah,
could be any
or
fucking character in
yeah,
that story. And
right,
it's fucking
yeah.
so destabilizing. So
Yeah,
terrifying.
I mean, Lars Von Trier, like, this is something that, like, the movie he made before this, Breaking the Waves, is actually very similar to this movie.
Yeah.
Um, and Breaking the Waves is fucking such a great movie too, from what I've seen. I haven't seen all of it. I would like to, but that
Yeah.
also is a very emotionally crushing movie. He's very good at it. Very good at
Yeah.
fucking you up, but in a way in a way that I think I don't find this movie to be sad porn. I think it works. I think there's parts of
I
it
don't
that
either.
that that maybe do feel that way. That it's like really kind of manipulative,
Yeah.
But I think that this ultimately what this movie is about, and ultimately what if you view this movie and like what Lars von Trier is kind of saying about poverty and saying about our judicial system. This is a very powerful movie, and
Yeah.
it's I think it's worth watching. But I will say though, like if you listen to this and you're like, I don't want to see someone get executed.
Don't,
Don't
yeah,
do it.
fucking don't.
Don't do it.
I
Like
wouldn't recommend this to anyone on this
don't do
goddamn
it.
planet.
Don't do it. I would only recommend this to someone who's like, yeah, I like Antichrist. Like, you see the Answer in the
Sure.
Dark? Like,
Yeah.
no, like you like it. Um, so I mean, if you're listening to this and you're a fan of Lars von Trier, you haven't seen this, definitely
Yeah.
check this movie out for sure, man.
Yeah.
It's very well made and and if you're also into musicals and you can stomach things like
Yeah.
this is a really interesting musical. Like just on like you haven't seen a musical like this. The way that it is very much an anti-musical. The way that
Definitely.
the themes of it are very much woven into musicals. Like the Selma kind of using musicals as an escape, and I think a
Yes.
lot of we can relate to that a lot. And I think that's something about this movie that I genuinely find to be incredibly beautiful. The idea of using music as an escape. And
Yeah.
as much as the ending is so emotionally disturbing, that song that she's singing, it feels such a great catharsis because you would hope that, the text that comes up at the end of this film is something like, don't let the last song be your last song,
Yeah.
And I find that to be really beautiful. You can take that any way that you want. That's kind of the purpose of this quote at the end. Like, you interpret that whatever you uh, want to. But I think that this movie, as much as it kills me, as much as it makes me literally cry, um, it is very powerful and something that, like, I really like. I really like. I think this movie's great.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's a weird one to recommend to people, but uh,
Yeah. Well, I think I agree with, I'll double down on that. What all those things that you said. And the thing that I really, so after I saw this film, I'm a very emotional person. You might be able to tell this if you listen to multiple podcasts. If this is the first encounter with us as people, I'm going to inform you. I'm a very emotional person. I'm emotions first most of the time. So like for me, after I watched this movie, I told you about this where I had to like really compose myself for a very, very
yeah,
long time
yeah,
after it and just like and really collect myself. And as distressing as that was for me, my favorite quote when talking about being a maker, I'm always trying to figure out like what does it mean to make good art? And that has constantly changed throughout my life, which is a wonderful thing that the definition of what makes good art changes every single day. I think that's wonderful. But I think the definition that I have liked the most about what makes something like really good is that when you watch it, it changes your life forever. I love that idea of like
yeah,
what makes something like good or quality. And the thing about this movie, when I watched it personally, is you used this to, I can't remember what movie you used this quote from, but it was a seismic shift, was what
yeah,
it was for me. And
yeah,
what it really made me question is like what is the purpose of making things like that. And I literally
yeah,
looked at myself and I looked at the things I was making with like the comics and my art, and I was looking at it and it's like, dude, what am I doing? You know, when that shit like that is out there that can connect so directly, like what
Right.
am I doing with it? You know, I came around to it and I'm still happy doing what I'm doing and I'm not like abandoning it, like, oh, it's so much better than me. But it made me look at that like and have a deeper perspective. It literally made me ask myself, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And am I okay with it? And as there's flaws in this movies, you know, I'm sure there's things I don't like about this movie or whatever, but because it made me think like that and it had that effect on me, I'm sure it had that effect on other people. And that makes it a fucking brilliant piece of art. It makes it brilliant. Not commenting on like Lars Von Trier. I'm not talking about him as a person, but Dancer as a Dark is a brilliant piece of art. That's all I gotta say, man. That's all I fucking gotta say.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think like to me, when I know that something that I like a piece of art is that like it you know, we say this all the time, it moves you.
Yeah.
Moves you some sort of way. It might move you, even if something moves you. I think The Room is art. You know, I do.
Yeah. No.
I think The Room is
Yeah.
absolutely artful. It moves me to tears of laughter because it is amazingly terrible. That's something. You know, that is something. You know, I think more disposable things when you watch something and you don't feel like I feel bad for filmmakers and films sometimes where I see it and I felt nothing.
Yeah,
Like you
right.
go and you feel nothing. Like you don't feel happy when you leave. You don't feel
like Mank,
laughing. Right. Meg, or you know, I don't know, like there's tons of forgettable movies.
Most of the movies are like that, honestly.
Most movies are like that. Forgettable films are like that.
Yeah.
And I think to me, like even if you hate this movie, like if you saw this and you were mad, you were angry at it, that's why I kind of respect Lars von Trier, like as a filmmaker. Like this is what he does. Like he makes things that are I have never seen a Lars von Trier movie and when it ends I go,
yeah,
I feel good. No, they all are incredibly depressing, and some of them are incredibly depressing to the point where it does make me angry. But I have to acknowledge, that at least it made me feel something. I might be angry at the movie, but I can't be mad at Lars von Trier for trying to make something that is like emotionally potent or saying something. You know?
Yeah.
I always admire the attempt. You know, um, but I love this movie. It works for me. But I apologize if you listen to this and you were like, "All right, I'll watch Dancer in the Dark."
Yeah.
You hated it, had a horrible experience, but I think this movie's it's not for everybody. Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out more Lars von Trier.
I mean, this is a thing. It makes me feel so emotionally conflicted because I think I talked to you about this after we watched it, like when we were talking on Wednesday.
I think you just have to prepare yourself. You know?
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to watch those von Trier movies because I'm a cinephile. But now after seeing Dancer in the Dark, and I had such a fucking poignant experience from it, I am both so much more fearful of the rest of his discography, but avid to watch it. Like I just know it's like I need to watch this. I need to watch this. And it's kind of something that I hate that I have to watch it.
Yeah. That's
like
definitely how I
fucking hate that I have to watch this now.
Maybe we'll probably talk about another long-term movie.
I really want to watch Jack That House Built. I'm really interested in that movie. I want to watch Antichrist. I want to watch them all. I'm all interested in all of them.
I think you'll really like Antichrist. I think you'll really like that. That's a really good movie.
Dude,
that movie's fucked though. That movie is fucked.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Do you want to say like it's thick and butter approved with me?
I think it's thick and butter.
Let's say it like really quietly though. Let's a moment of quiet. Like, Let's do it like in monotone. Like let's
Okay.
do like a Gregorian chant
Yeah.
style, thick and
Okay.
butter, in memoriam to Selma the character who was so wonderful
Yeah.
and emotionally poignant. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's the tone.
Butter.
Thick and butter.
Approved.
Thank you. Amen.
I'm crying on the mic.
So
Yeah.
you want to hear what
Definitely approved? Yeah. What are we watching next week, Jesse?
so
I would assume that you're going to pick something a little bit more uplifting.
So I've been thinking long and hard about it. We're watching Twilight again. It's time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right, yeah. We can do that. Yeah, you're right.
We haven't talked to Zach again, so I don't really know if that will actually happen. But well, the other thing that we're so far.
Do that next week because
yeah,
I'll be gone the next. Well, we should do that.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I was thinking about our release schedule because we have a lot of convenience. Like we don't have to record an episode next if we need to. Yeah. So if Zach's not available, it's not a big deal. Yeah. But it's funny to me because we're ahead because we're really good at consistently making this every week, but we're really bad at posting it consistently every week, which I find hysterical. I
think we'll be better at it now.
Honestly, like I don't care. Like I think it's kind of our style, honestly. not post every day, to not post every week, but just make something.
Dude, it's our style, bro.
It's just our style. We're late. Man. We're late. We're late. Always late, man. I like being late. I feel good being late.
Yeah. This was a depressing episode.
Yeah.
I hope you had fun.
Yeah. I feel like I've been through therapy.
I know, right? I hope you had fun watching this, or listening. I hope you had fun watching Dance from the Dark. It's good old time. Good old family fun. 2 thumbs up. And yeah, we love you. Hope follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everything, man.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Tell your mother. Tell your father. Tell your bananas. Lars Von Trier's. If you have Lars Von Trier in your household, bananas. What? You're not pro fruit? You're against bananas?
I'm no fruit.
What? Well, you're not a fruit, but you're saying you'd be upset if like a banana was listening to us. Look, you don't want these guys to be a part of it? Look at how supple and yellow these bitches are. You don't want these guys on the pot. Listen to them.
Only grapefruit.
Listen to this. I have a grapefruit too.
Listen to this banana. Listen to this banana. It's a high quality banana. Listen to that banana cone.
You know what? I actually don't. I don't want anyone but bananas on the podcast anymore. Can we make that?
Should have a banana on the as a guest. That'd be cool.
Banana guest speaker. Banana.
Ever banana guest. Banana guest.
All right, banana guest.
R.I.P. Selma.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.